Welcome back to another episode of the Quarterly Blax Show. I'm your host, Ashley. As y'all can see, I am not in front of my shoes today. I'm in a very special place. We got an in-person episode today with some very special people. We got SK, Soy, and Ty. And we're going to talk about some really interesting stuff today, man. I'm going to let them go around and introduce themselves real quick. We're going to start with you, SK. Let the people know who you are.
Okay. What it do? I'm SK, born and bred in California, which feels like a joke, but it's not. No, I've got 3 beautiful kids. I've raised them with my beautiful wife in sunny Southern California. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
There you go. What's up, everybody? I'm Soy. I have 2 kids. Been in LA for a little minute now. Not born and raised like some people, but you know,
None of us.
It's feeling like home these days.
Yeah, I mean, y'all already know me, man. Come on. Y'all, go watch the other episodes if you don't know who I am. I'm not going to tell you today. All right? Go ahead.
I'm Ty, one half of Life of Mama Do. 2 children, and I'm not from California.
And we feel sorry for all of them.
DC
but they're
chilling.
here now.
Right.
They're here now.
Yes. Yeah.
But we
love
all
'em.
here for good reason.
Yeah, man. We're all parents, and that's the reason we're all here today. We're going to talk about the non-birthing mother perspective, okay? A very undercovered, not well-covered topic. We're going to go with that. Not well-covered. I think not at all. Not at all. We don't talk about our emotions. We don't talk about how we feel.
Not at all.
You know, it's all about the birthing mother, which we respect, we love. Shout out to my wife.
Queens.
We love them.
Yeah.
Queens, we love them. Without them, we wouldn't be here. But we need to talk about our feelings.
Okay.
We need a safe space for us. We're gonna play a little game, the lesbian conversation. We gonna open this up with a little icebreaker.
Okay.
So I got so this game, there's 2 sides to this game. Shout out to the givers for the pride and the pleasure side. For the purposes of this conversation, we're gonna stick to the pride side. The pleasure side gets a little crazy. That's a little game night-ish. We're gonna let that one stay. We got a few curated cards we're gonna answer to keep it appropriate for today. So I'm gonna go around. We're gonna start on this side, Ty. Just pick a card.
All right.
And anyone who wants to answer, just feel free. Answer it.
Nervous.
Oh, what is one lesbian question you are tired of being asked?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Who's the man? Which one of y'all is the boy?
Because somebody has to be.
That one. That's the lesbian.
Yeah. Who's the man?
Bruh.
Yeah.
No one.
I want to elaborate on that too.
The point
Yeah.
is
Listen.
that there's no man.
There's
No, they don't
man.
ever get
And no
that.
one wants to be a man.
No.
That's the crazy part.
Listen, and then
no one
there's
wants
the
to be
other part where people are like, well, if you're going to be with somebody who dresses masculine,
Yeah.
why don't you just be with a man?
Yeah.
Again, the point.
Yeah.
Because a girl can't just wear a
Thank
fitted
you.
hat
Thank you.
and baggy jeans.
Listen, all of a sudden,
I'm not a man.
I am my
Oh,
clothes.
That clothes.
but I will bring it back to the parenting aspect of it is like, where's their dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
the
annoying.
real one.
Yeah. Where the daddies at?
That's the one.
the
That's
one.
the parent related one. That's the one that I'm
Shout out
like,
to the daddies. Ain't no disrespect, but just
No.
ain't no daddies in
there's
these
no
relationships.
daddies here.
No.
There's
No,
dad.
no
There's no
daddies.
dad.
It's only weird because you wouldn't ask a single woman that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, talk about it.
But because there's 2 full parents, now all of a sudden,
You're missing
problem.
something.
something's missing.
But I also think that somehow people think that we don't understand that we used male specimen, like
they
sperm.
love to be like,
That we forgot
you know,
about
you
that.
couldn't do this on your own, right?
We left that out the
We're well
plan. We was like,
aware.
we're the ones that have no
Wait.
clue how this works.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah. They're
We
like,
totally forgot to talk about the
Yeah.
daddy part. We forgot.
yeah, they're
we
like,
forgot
they
that
must
part.
think
Yeah.
that they must think that they're the
Yeah.
moms, but they must have forgot. And
Had
so
to-
they
we
have
had to.
to. Yeah, you're
So,
right.
yeah.
They're like,
There's-
where is the dad?
So that's it for me.
I think that's for all of
Those
us.
are
It's probably
okay.
that's probably all of our questions.
Yep.
our answer.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right, what is your fear as a lesbian?
Jeez.
Oh, I have to answer it? I thought it was open to the
We are.
group.
Yeah,
we
we
are.
took-
We're opening it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've started.
Lesbian fears?
Because you
No.
did it. Lesbian fears. Honestly, I think my fears lie probably in my children more so than anything. Than myself. I'm comfortable with myself. Like I've always been who I've been, but it's more so in my children of like how the world view them like having lesbian moms. Or even sometimes as my oldest, she's 6, gets older, and like she's with her friends and their girls, and then their parents or whatever are like, oh, what do you? Like,
You don't want nobody to be like,
Yeah.
you ain't got no daddy.
yeah, so it's more so for them, but not so for me. But I also learning through the process that I'm teaching them to be accepting of others and be strong in who they are.
Yeah, that part.
That's it for me.
I think the fears that fear is a strong word, I think. So I'm like, I think that the only thing I fear is like stuff that I don't have control over. And I think for me, that's like larger, like political stuff. Like, like we're still in the process of adopting our children, right? Because the we're going to talk about the non-birthing parent, right? And so like that is scary for me. Like if something happens to me and my wife needs to make decisions about the child that she didn't birth, that's terrifying for me because who, like, y'all gonna find a donut? Like, what are you about to do? You know, I think a lot of the policies are so new that they don't even know what they'll do. Like, and that is scary. I think that people don't even know who to turn to. Can't like depend on the law. You can't, you know. So I think that that's kind of scary. It's just like the unknown of who can control or protect or like handle my family when I can't.
Yeah,
that's probably
that's real. Let's see, my fear, and I think as my son, because I have 2 boys, so as my son gets older, my oldest, he's 4 right now. Everyone just keeps kind of like putting in the back of my head, like, okay, well, he needs to have a male figure present. So I'm hyper conscious of like who he's around and like who he interacts with, and making sure that there are Black men in his life that like he can look up to. So my fear is just that, you know, I'm hoping that I have enough of that, because I don't really have a lot of like Black men in my life other than my brothers. So, and only one of them lives here. So it's just like, you know, one-on-one time, making sure that he's getting that FaceTime with him, and like just, you know, even when he comes over sometimes, he just wants to do what he does. Like he wants to see him, he wants to like act like him. So I'm like, you know, I'm just really fearful that there's ever going to be a point in time where like I can't give him that. So that's one of my fear.
I love this conversation.
Yeah.
Because more people be thinking like, because we love women, like we just so anti-men.
No,
like,
not at all. For me, it's the opposite.
At all, not at all. We love our Black men. Shout out to the Black men. We love our Black men for sure. We just got our son, his godparents, and that was important for us. Like for it to be, you know, a strong person and, you know, married as well and respects family, values family, similar values to us. But that can give him that perspective, because again, we value, you know, having men.
Absolutely.
Our kids just don't have daddies. That's
We
it.
all have boys.
Oh, we have boys. Yep.
And we have 2 girls.
Yeah.
And it's the
Same thing. Yeah. They still need that.
the
Yeah.
representation.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
all right.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! I was waiting for somebody to get a good one.
Is there anything that would make you go straight?
Talk about it.
Yeah, The Handmaid's Tale.
You know what?
If I'm required by law to wear,
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking about? No.
Blessed
Yeah.
be the fruit. Okay, over here.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, if they
I'm
coming
like,
back and
yeah,
shipping
yeah,
off
something
lesbians
is
somewhere, well,
Listen, the way Samara,
I
was
guess
acting,
now,
that's gonna
yeah,
be me.
yeah,
One time
100%.
what do they call it? A gender traitor?
Yeah, yeah.
Once you
Give
label
me the tightest dress you can find.
yeah.
Give me the longest hair.
Yeah.
Give me
If
all
you're
the
gonna
makeup,
string me up on the
lashes,
wall,
nails,
fine.
everything.
Listen, the works, okay?
Listen,
'Cause
and then I'm
I'm
gonna be
like-
walking like, let me see you walk. I'm gonna be like, hey, Rochelle, I don't know you. Don't come over here with that.
I'm like, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, no, I
There's
can't.
levels to that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I got
Like,
it. It got to be murder on the
Because
way.
like, are we just pretending, or we got to
Right.
do the? Cause
Okay.
that's
Okay.
Now I can go as far as
I'm-
put on a dress, maybe, but
how we pretended.
Right, it says go
I said,
straight.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, obviously,
them women were literally
obviously,
raped.
I
So,
mean, we
I
talking
hate to take it
sexual
there.
orientation.
That's what I'm saying, always go
straight.
there.
Like I,
So you saying if I gotta
Perform.
on?
If you have to perform the heterosexual duty.
Yeah. But it's straight relationships that don't have like romance or, you know, sexual
I'll take
intercourse.
one
So
of those.
you take one of those.
I wouldn't.
I'll take like
said we gonna do it.
You think a relationship where you don't
in
have
these
to do it.
situations, extreme situations where like, you know, we talking. We don't have to talk about Handmaid's Tale because we stopped watching that after a couple
because
episodes.
that's how dramatic it would need to be.
Right.
We're talking about
situation,
it is out of my control.
Okay, I can I get one of those where we ain't no intimacy? Like we could talk. I could have a conversation with a man. Like maybe
play
We
basketball.
could talk about we could talk
I
about
don't know
that.
if y'all watch
but like
Handmaid's
that's
Tale,
it.
but that's not
You
how-
might have to give me somebody who just ain't capable, old and can't.
Yeah.
Really
Then
straight.
you
Really
turn into a
straight.
sugar baby real quick.
But
be like, all right.
Other than that, conversation stops. That's it.
That's it.
So they
I
gonna,
don't have no interest.
yeah.
It's got to be real extreme.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
got to be
They
real
like that.
serious. I got
That's
to
Somebody's
be.
life is on the
That's
line.
how
I'm either going in the ground or, matter of fact, I might just want to go ahead and go.
I'm
If
about to
that's
say,
what I
is
got to
that
do.
an option?
Yeah.
We did.
But otherwise,
If we
yeah.
can get to Canada, we going.
Yeah. If we
But
could
in
get
the
somewhere where I
Handmaid's
could be good. Yeah.
If they snatch you, that's what would require.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
they'd be like,
Yeah.
are you? No.
What?
What?
What are you
Can't do
talking
it.
about? And now you in a red. And now you in a red hood, getting.
Yeah.
Let's just.
It's not going
It's
down.
not okay. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull one. Let me see. Here, you.
I was gonna say,
I
you
don't
a
want
helper.
to cheat. I don't
Oh,
want to
okay.
cheat.
Yeah,
Just pull one for me.
I'm pulling for you.
Yeah,
I'll
you
let
just
you
pull
do
one.
it.
All right, I'll pull one. I ain't gonna cheat. Let's see. Have you ever U-hauled it?
You hold it.
Am I a lesbian?
How long is a what's the
How
term
long is
for
a
the
U-haul?
Yeah.
Well, okay,
What is it?
And did.
So
Indeed.
I guess I get I don't know because we were in college. So I mean, I lived on the 4th floor, she lived on the 3rd floor. We basically
Basically, you hauled it.
we basically
Okay.
U-hauled
That
it. I
don't
mean,
count.
in
That
that
don't-
situation.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I mean, when the first opportunity that we had outside of living together, we lived together. So
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically
girl.
we
So
did.
technically
Yeah.
you hauled it.
So
I know y'all freaking one floor, 3rd or 4th.
Oh
whatever
yeah,
it was. It was one
whoever,
somebody.
whoever
okay.
roommate wasn't there. That's where we was at.
Okay.
Yeah. Technically, you hold it.
How long was y'all together for y'all?
Yeah. What's the time?
I mean, this one was different because it was similar. Like I never went to college, but I was in the military, and we had dorms, barracks, whatever you want to call them. And I wasn't supposed to have her there, but she was pretty much there. And then when I got my next rank, I somehow made it to where I was living with somebody else just so we could live together, even though I was supposed to still be in the
Yeah.
dorms. But yeah, I wouldn't do that again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't never have to do that again, so I ain't worried. But,
Yeah.
You know, I got
Because it's a for life thing. We
for
locked
life.
in. We locked in.
I wouldn't do that
Life
again.
words.
That was a
We
previous, like, I already knew with this one. Like, we gonna make sure it ain't no U-hauling. We chilling.
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
Got
it
it.
wasn't. It
Got
wasn't.
it, got it.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No,
Time to take a
actually,
turn.
no, with her, like I remember, we were bi-coastal when we first,
That's right, that's
and then
right.
when I did go to New York, we were like, oh, nah. When I did go to New York, we were like, oh, maybe we can live together, and then I
Okay.
was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay in Brooklyn. You're gonna stay in Queens,
go.
and like
So
we
you
gonna make sure we
gonna
see.
date
And then
like,
I
let me
ended
do
up
this.
at her house all the
And it's
time,
okay,
so
yeah.
it was like,
Listen.
let me go ahead and
Yeah.
let me just go ahead and pack the boxes,
Right. Get it
and
on
then we
board.
got the U-Haul.
Yeah. Got the actual
You know, the
Made it across town.
Yeah.
that's another story. We'll talk about that later. That's crazy.
Cool. So
Yes.
U-Haul,
Sorry
how
for
long?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once we decided we were together, we were together. Right? There's not really a time frame. I can't think of a time that we wasn't together. I'm like looking at her now because I'm like, no, yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Her mom lived like miles away from me, but she, just always over. I literally can remember getting my first little apartment thinking I was going to be outside. Like, look at me go. A little
Nope.
job, little car. No. Met her, yeah. Sat her down.
Appreciate
Sat
that.
her down.
Yeah.
Never. I sometimes I'm like, I really never had alone time
Yeah.
in the world. You
about
never
that
really had a
sometimes.
little bit. You'd be
Yeah.
like, a nigga never really was just like out there,
You know, this is the problem being a high value woman. You know,
I
you
look,
know,
I'm not
This is what happens. They're not gonna let you stay. She's like, wait, she got her own place. Hold up, nope, let me get
And all of
that.
a sudden, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna leave that there.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
this is my corner.
Yeah.
Drawer.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
the weird. Weird.
Not happening.
Yeah. The most
So
feminine thing. This is
long
mascara.
y'all-
It's like, what do you
No,
You're
yeah.
like, I
no.
understand
that.
what you're trying
It's
to
not
do.
mine.
I understand what you're trying to do.
Those my
So you
shorts.
all-
I'm playing. No, definitely you hold it like
Yeah.
100%. I was a freshman in college, and my wife was a senior, so she was living off campus at the time, and I was in the dorms. But the second I got that agree. Okay. So I said, you want me to come over? Okay, cool. Brought my backpack.
Let's do that.
Okay, came over.
I ain't
Never left.
Never left.
Never left.
That's how I
I,
go.
I had a dorm.
Yeah.
I had a
Whole
dorm.
dorm, paying all that money. You could
Don't tell my parents. I'm
yeah.
sorry, mom and dad, about that. Y'all, I told you I didn't need that dorm like that. So,
Didn't need
anyways, yeah, very much.
I love it. I love it.
You
all right.
the appropriate way.
It's the only way.
Passage.
If you ain't, you hold
If
it.
you know, you know.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it there.
Straight
If
up.
you know, you know.
It works
Right.
for some of us.
All right. So now we're here. We all have kids. We're married, locked in,
Yeah.
tied down.
Locked in.
Locked in.
But I want to talk about the process of having a baby from the perspective of the non-birthing mother. Okay? So talk about the decision in your relationship to actually carry. What was the conversation? Obviously, SK, you carried and your wife carried a baby as well. So you have both perspectives. We're going to stick to mostly the side where you were not the birthing parent on this one, but if wherever it relates, talk about that too. But talk about the decision to carry. How did you guys decide who would carry and that whole thing? For me, I never wanted to carry a child.
Okay.
I always wanted to have kids, but I never actually wanted to carry them. My wife was like, this child need to be genetically related to one of us because we need to control half these genetics. So I guess I'm carrying these kids.
Yeah.
That's how she
A real
ended up
one.
being
Smart,
the carrying
smart, yeah.
parent. And that's how we arrived. So y'all can take it
y'all
from
are
there and
both
talk
nodding.
about.
Y'all are both nodding.
Yes,
That's
because
the tea from all of
I'm the same. I have no desire to carry. Had no desire to carry. My wife wanted to carry, but she had stage 4 endometriosis. Even during then, it was the idea of like, do we want to go through IVF or do the fertility doctor was like, you have 2 uteruses here, and I'm like. But it became it was a conversation, and I looked at my wife and I said, it doesn't make sense if you don't try everything you can, because I can get pregnant, I can be completely miserable because I don't want to carry, or I can be completely happy and then you have regrets that you didn't try everything that you could. So let's just do this. And she is a very risk averse person, and she was like, it's not guaranteed and da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, but that regret, if you don't, that's guaranteed for life. Yeah. So we went IVF and it worked out for us. But for me, like, we knew from jump, like, that's on you. And we're 5 years apart. I'm 5 years younger than her, but our first conversation was like, you want kids? You want family? Because if it's no, then
We ain't doing this.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Zoe?
Let's see. I, from a very young age, I'd say like probably 8 years old, knew I had no interest in ever carrying a baby. Ever. I didn't know the words for it, but all I know is like, I always wanted kids. I want kids. But that pregnancy thing looks terrifying. So I was like, it's just not, it's not in the cards for me. So as I got older, I just knew that I would always have to end up with somebody that wanted kids, but also would want to carry. So luckily enough, I, looked up, and yes, my wife was the one that carried.
Bagged it. Good for you. Like you said, we both carried. So for me, and I didn't mean to pass the question off. I just was so shocked that all three of us just hard no.
Hard
Fuck
no.
Yeah.
Hard
And
no.
I'm sorry. Should I? I'm
You
try
can
my
cuss, it's fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you're good.
apologize.
Yeah, you're good. No, you're good.
That's
And
the
y'all wanted
sailor.
to do the vodka. Yeah. What are you talking about, bro?
She didn't need it. She didn't even need it.
But when I met my wife, she had a 2-year-old. So she'd already had a child. And I literally, unlike all of you, I think I never considered it before. I always just was kind of like, I assumed I would be with children. How they got there, I wasn't really even focused on. Yeah. But I never was that person who was like, I can't wait to hold a baby. And I was not that guy. But one day I woke up and was that guy. I can't even explain it, to be quite honest. I woke up like, I want to have a baby. And it was the weirdest thing. And I remember telling her, she was like, oh, because we had never discussed that before. And I knew we wanted more kids, and we thought it'd be her just off GP because she had proved it.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Looks like you're good.
You look good. You look like you can do it. So when you're good and ready, you'll do it again when you're good. And I ended up being like, I think I want to do that. And we immediately were like, okay, while you feeling the feeling, let's do
Capitalize.
it. Let's move on it. So we did. And as much as the feeling turned on, it turned right off. Yeah, no, who would do that again? It's not fun. And I didn't need to do it the first time I realized. I probably could have
So that was a fever dream.
Yeah,
Right.
She said, wait, why didn't you make sure I was okay when I told you that? She was like, nah, you trying to have this baby, go ahead and have this baby.
I didn't have any real friends, so nobody to talk me back. Like, are you sure? Yeah, you know? And
Did you enjoy pregnancy?
I didn't dislike pregnancy. I think everybody asked that same question. People are like, did you enjoy it? My wife enjoys being pregnant. Big
My wife
difference.
too.
Yeah, my
She's
wife
like, if I
enjoys
could
it.
do it again,
She likes how she
I'm like-
looks. She likes how she feels. She likes the feeling of the baby inside. My first time, no, it was terrible. I was like, this sucks. You don't feel like yourself. And I'm a worker. Like I couldn't even work. Like I was so exhausted. Like nobody wants to sleep. I know this is not what this episode's about.
No, talk about it.
I'm supposed to be on the other side.
Yeah.
But I think that it gave me a lot of perspective for when I was on the other side, because I think often people don't really know what it feels like, but they know they want to support you. Whereas like I had just gone through it a year before, and now I'm on it like, what do you need?
What do you
know?
need? Whatever.
Because I know at
That's-
this time it feels like this, and at this time it feels like that. But then, and then it's Mylene. So she's not even suffering like I'm suffering. You know what I'm saying? And she's suffering, right?
Yeah.
I went through my pregnancy, my first trimester, you know, that's the trimester that typically sucks. Your body trying to figure it out. By my second trimester, I was fine. I was back at work. I worked up till the day I was induced. I was fine. My wife had pelvic this, you know, back that. She had to have all these treatments. She had to have all, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And still
She's
smile. She loved
love
it.
it.
It's the wildest thing.
Yeah,
Paige threw up every day.
And loved it. And I can remember her being like, I love being pregnant. And it's like,
Every day. She went to the hospital.
It don't make
because
sense
She
to
couldn't
me.
hold nothing down.
it doesn't make sense.
Once our second child was born, she was like, hey, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
We had a friend that was like, you want to carry for me? I'm like, who gonna come rub her feet and her back and stuff? Like, this is not, this requires support.
It really
and like,
does.
My wife
I
just
do it
started
for the
talking
babies,
about.
and
I'm
she
done
just started
cleaning
talking
up
about-
to throw up.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, she
She
just
can't
started
clean
talking
it
about
up.
that.
It's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, I think we could. It's really because the people at her job getting on her nerves, and she ready to
Some
count
more
down
time.
until she could be off work again.
Some more
She's
time
like,
off.
I'd rather be pregnant than be here
I
with
love
these people. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute now, because there's a child that comes after you be pregnant.
We gotta raise that.
Yeah.
Where we gonna put that baby
Y'all
at?
better come on, though. Shit, it's better to do them close like that.
Listen. Every day it changes.
It's better to do them close like
We
that.
are not a part of the 2 under 2 ministry. I am not in
Thank
that
you.
ministry.
I'm not
no,
part of
thank
it
you.
either.
No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good.
I can't tell if it's hit or miss. We still in it.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
So I
see.
mean, they're not 2 under 2, but
They still under
Yeah.
5.
There you go.
I agree with you. Children aren't really fun until they're 6-ish.
He getting fun now. Like he over one. Like
They're fun.
So now he can like
Yeah.
mimic you and mock you. He can like
Okay.
point. You know, he got a
She's
little
saying that now
personality
until
coming
they
through.
get to 6.
That's what I'm saying.
In about 3 more months, I'm gonna have a 6-year-old.
12, 18 month. Loved my babies. 18 month.
18
What?
months.
Oh my! That's why I love Tail. I'm like, this is babies that small up until like a year, till those words start to actually sound like an
Words,
opinion.
yeah.
Right.
Opinion.
It's like, wait a minute. Now you like
Regress. I don't like you no
realize
more.
you have autonomy.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
nigga don't have to hold your hand
Yeah.
across the street. Like now you're not having cute little babies no more.
Yeah.
That's when I want them to jump to 6 or 7.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, just snap.
Yeah,
And I want you to talk.
I'm telling
Use
you.
real words.
Just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait. You're gonna be like, go back.
In the stomach.
Stop
All the way
talking.
back. Go all
Because if he hitting that level where you like, you don't stop talking, it's going. I'm gonna go
So
with
look,
the gloves.
go somewhere else.
this
We gonna
gonna
have
be
the box.
this gonna be a very interesting. We gonna talk about this. This the post after the baby
all right,
situation.
you're right.
So, supporting your partner through pregnancy, right? As a mother, talk about just like you guys' position with that, supporting your wife, all the things that come along with that, the families, the questions, all of the interesting things that come along with being a mother who's not carrying a child, right? Your job, like, oh, you're having a baby, but there's no
baby
baby.
gag.
All of the, so like talk about you guys' experience with that part.
Let's see. For me, it was very interesting. The whole family dynamic. We flew back to New York, surprised like all of our family that were pregnant, and they were just like everyone was so excited, but also like you could see everyone like, wait, hold on, how did they
2 + 2, yeah.
literally though? So like we have to like literally explain to everybody like, okay, this is the process. We're here now, right? And even then, like one of Asia's like really young cousins, he was like, but if it's a boy, who gonna take him to the bathroom? We're like,
Okay.
okay,
All
you
right.
can come with us. It's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just very interesting navigating, like having to, it's almost like, for me, I don't have to like come out as who I am every day, because how I dress and how I carry myself, people can automatically assume, right? They're like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that you're, little. So, right. A little, So for me, it was more so like having to be like, oh yeah, I'm expecting a baby soon. I'm not carrying the baby though. So it's like coming out every single time that like, one, it's like I can procreate and have a family. And then, everything that comes with it. They're like, well, so how is it still going to be? Yes, it's my kid. Don't have to be biologically tied to the kid to be my kid. Plan this kid. Use a little catheter thingy to, okay? So at the end of the day, like very much involved in this child's life.
Yeah.
And for work, it was just, I'm in corporate America. So it was just like, there's no real rule book to it. So it's like they're trying to navigate it. Luckily enough, though, I worked for a tech company, and they were just like, oh, okay, you'll just take paternal like leave. Like they didn't have it as like a maternity leave or whatever. And it was just weird overall, I would say, for my coworkers to kind of grasp it, but eventually everybody gets on board. Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SK?
I'm just like thinking about all of the different things that come with like family and explaining it. Like it's weird because wasn't very close to my family. I'm very close to my siblings, but like my parents, I wasn't super close with until I got pregnant, right? I want to be, like we literally didn't speak until somebody told them that I was pregnant. And then they flew down here to speak and meet with me and my Lynn and like apologize for all the years, right? So having grandkids for my family is important to them. So it was weird. It kind of forced me to have to be like, y'all don't even fuck with me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it really was like, this is a lot to take on because I'm pregnant. And
You're
I'm
like, is
trying
this a
to
bridge?
think
Do I
through-
want this bridge?
I have no clue.
Is it a
feel me?
sturdy
Do
bridge?
I
That's
want
just
this
sturdy.
bridge?
That was a little
Is it a
shallow.
sturdy-
Or is this
I don't know what's under here, right?
Literally.
So like that was already one huge.
Is this a hanging bridge in
stressor.
Costa
I can't-
Rica?
yeah.
Like, is this a
Rope
you know what I mean? Like,
Suspension. Will I make it?
am I going? Yeah.
And
We don't do conditional bridges.
it really was a lot of
Yeah.
that. And so I think that was probably the first time Mylin had to see me really like, I've always been like very tunnel vision about my relationship. You either get with it or you could get lost.
could
There's
get
not
lost.
a lot of in
Yeah.
between for me. And not even a lot of gray space to converse and figure out if we can. You either get with it or I will see y'all when I see y'all.
But with the whole thing, though.
No.
We talking about the kids, the wife, the
everything.
everything.
Talked about it,
yes.
all of it.
That's
If
gotta
not,
be.
it doesn't even matter. So
Yeah.
and I've been that way since I got married. So like now, years later, now you guys are coming into our lives. And I think that was the first time she had to see me actually kind of be vulnerable, but also be like, and this is exactly how this scenario is going to play out. You know, like I was like, you coming back over here, this is what this looks like, right?
That's how we do it.
And so on the flip side, when she got pregnant, we had always kind of been in a little bit of a turmoil space with her father about our relationship over time, stuff like he would send mail to the house and it would say Mylin Stokes, like it wouldn't say Mrs. or like her last name. Like,
Yeah,
she'd be
the
like, that's
little-
not my
man, the
name,
little
bro.
things.
Things like that. And he would just be like, oh, I don't recognize that. He had no problem telling us very clearly, like, I don't respect your relationship and I don't stand for it. And so for me, it was, because I'm so cut and dry, it was a hard shift for me to, have to even deal with that. Because I'm gonna respect you and that's your daddy.
Yeah.
Shit. Who am I to tell you to not talk to your dad or to cut him off or to be a certain way with him? But now it's affecting me and I don't operate like that. Like I don't operate like that. And so I think that I'm sorry. and so I think that it was really forcing us to like look at our relationships in our family and how harmful they can really be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like on my side, it's like I don't get along with my mom and I'm on her every time she even says something. She's focused on, they just need to get circumcised. And I'm like, girl, your opinion here doesn't matter.
all.
You
Right.
need to you're lucky you in a room. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, but now I'm on this other side where that's not how she handles her parents. That's not how she handles these sort of scenarios, And so I had to give her a lot of space to like really figure it out. And it wasn't until her dad kind of felt he was obligated for whatever reason to share with us that he felt like Lennox wasn't anybody to him, but that the baby she was carrying was his grandson and he wanted to be back like involved in our lives after years of not speaking to us. And I think that was the first time that Mylin really had to like realize that she's not, I also now have to make a real clear, obvious stance. Like, this isn't how we raising our kids, to know that people have conditional love, or like they pick and choose, or whatever that looks like. And so I think that was probably the hardest like conversation or scenario to be in once Mylin found out that she was pregnant. Just like finding out who your family really is, or like really having to like settle with the fact. It's one thing for people to treat you kind of way. I think when you become a parent, you realize like, you can do me, bro.
But you can't.
No.
You won't do my kids any kind of way.
No.
And I think that was like a real, like lioness moment for her, where she was like, oh, I also need to protect my family. Like, I'm a big provider and protector kind of person. But I think she was like, oh, this is ours, and we both need to be extremely protective of it and have those hard conversations as they come.
Yeah. For you, Ty, you can piggyback off that question too, but then also talk about thinking through like how you'll, before the baby, not after, but before, thinking about how you'll build a connection with the baby. Oh. Because obviously, like, there's that question of like, like, it's not biologically related to me, so like, how will I feel? That, like, talk about your mindset with that, and then you can also piggyback on the other question.
Well, the other question is pretty much the same as, like, we just did our thing. If you was on board, you was on board. We really didn't think too much about it. I can say with both sides of our family, it's pretty much smooth sailing. I mean, we have our things from childhood and like our relationships with our parents, but as far as having children, it was just heavy. It was just us. Like, we just knew, like, this is what we're doing. And if you're a part of it, you're a part of it. If you're not, you're not. It doesn't matter to us either way, because this is our family unit. As far as, it's funny about the connection, because I don't think I ever thought about that. Like, I never even questioned. It was not a thing to me to, like, no one's gonna ever be able to tell me, like, those children are mine. Whether I legally adopted them or not, I understand the legal aspect, but, like, I don't think I ever thought, like, this baby's not biologically mine. And that might tie back to I just didn't have the desire to carry, so it wasn't a thing for me. Like, I know that children call people their parents who are, like, adopted, whatever. Like, it was just never a thing for
that
me.
like just have shown up as that person. Yeah.
It was never a thing for me. My wife has asked me sometimes, like, you don't want to have, like, and it's just like, nah, I'm good.
100%.
But yeah, no. I mean, I think we did have one thing, was when we were choosing a donor, personality wise, you can see little things. We were like, oh, that sounds a lot like me. So it was like, okay, we connected in that way. Like, I connected like, oh, personality wise, like, that sounds a lot like me, shy guy, whatever. And then Kennedy is just like me. It's funny, personality wise, but no, I never thought about it too much. But one thing I remember Kennedy, she got something stuck in, like, she got a bee stuck in her nose or something. And we were like, oh, we're going to have to go to the hospital. And I think that may have been the first time it was like, okay, there's no biological connection now. They're going to try to be like, oh, who had her? Who's her mom? And then not let me.
It's always interacting with the outside. We're like the world that you're like, oh my God. Like,
that is when it really hit me. But we were not, the legal adoption wasn't done yet. Now I'm like, good, that's me.
In these streets, what's up?
But I think that's when it really hit me, like, oh, what if they ask me? But that was, I haven't really dealt with it.
So let's talk about how you had your kids. So we went through a sperm bank, picked a donor, out of the, I don't know, 5 choices.
Okay.
Of the
12 across the whole country.
The expanded criteria that we had to create, because the sperm banks just, I don't, listen, we done talked about it so many times. We need to we need to just create a Black recruiting.
Everybody has been saying,
and get cause like, what? It's crazy. Yeah. So I remember we went through IUI, and went through the sperm bank, went to the doctor, the whole thing. Did our insemination at a doctor's office and the whole 9, had our baby in a hospital. But I remember going through the donor situation, and like, we had a few donors, but there was one that we really loved, and he wasn't compatible with Rochelle because of the Jesus Christ, I forget. I forgot which one it was, but there was something about the blood that they couldn't, they weren't compatible. So we spent all that money on him. Then dug deep into her medical records because her dad called her. Her dad's a pastor. So her dad was like, are you sure? Also kind of late to the board in terms of us, I think just more accepting because we have a son now and, you know, that whole conditional situation. But he called her and was like, hey, like, are you sure? Like, I don't know. And it was just like a really weird call for her. So she spent the whole night looking through her medical records only to find that there was something like in an attachment to an attachment that she wasn't compatible with the first donor that we had. So had to throw that sperm away. Y'all know that's $1,400 a pop. Had to get rid of it because we just wouldn't chance it. Yeah. So then we found another donor. She was up in the middle of the night again. I was already asleep. She had texted me at like 11 or 12 about the donor. By the time I woke up and saw it, she had already bought the sperm. Because
we don't got time.
But he was also gone. Like they completely sold out in 24 hours. So she had bought the sperm overnight.
Okay. He was in demand.
As soon as the melanin drop on there, you know it's gonna sell out.
6 foot.
Right.
Yes. Smart, educated.
Right.
They were kind of looking like.
We went back and we were like, it's gone. God, now we got to ask what bank y'all use.
What do we use? California Cryo?
Yeah.
Shout out to California Cryo. So we got to go figure out.
No, California Cryo need to sponsor this.
What's y'all donor number?
Right. Let's compare.
We actually named our donor.
Y'all named y'all donor. Oh my God.
We did.
Terrified.
We did.
Our kids probably got the same donor.
We're
gonna message you later and see if they got the same. If they the same. But yeah, so then went through the donor. It took us 2 tries to have our son.
How many?
Y'all first video, IUI video, where y'all talked about the 5 tries. That was one of the first videos I saw, and I was like, babe, look.
I love that.
So then we like looking at the medicine and how many times and how much it costs and all of that. So shout out to y'all for those videos. Yeah. So that's how we kind of arrived at our family. We still have more vials. So for our next child, we'll use the same donor and everything. So how did you guys, arrive at family?
Okay.
You got it.
Okay. Yeah, no, similar, very similar. For our first, I think almost exactly the same. Went through California Chirobank, got our one shot. It's like we were going for such a long time searching, and we just wouldn't select anyone because there was just not a lot of options. So we were just on that thing. It's like a dating app. We're like, all right, anybody new today? Anybody new? It's like a ritual thing. We did it every day.
Yeah, literally.
And then like we got to the point
it was
where
the new Instagram at that point. It was
literally though.
What's new?
It got to the point where
serious.
You had to, not to mention you had to pay for the subscription.
Yes.
So you was limited 3 months. Like you gotta find somebody.
We did it so long ago. The California Chirobank had a pickup option back in the day.
Pickup option.
Come get your specimen. Okay. And then we were like,
we picked ours up.
Yeah. So basically, like, we got a rep, and her name was Karen Marie. Shout out to Karen. She called us. She'd be like, hey,
is somebody
you about to drop, okay?
I heard that.
Like, yo,
like, what's going on?
I got the new drop.
I was like, appreciate you, girl, because we gonna call back on her direct line through her extension. Make sure she get her commission. Because she was like, yeah, no, we have some new people coming. Like, basically, it's like you had to almost be so intrusive to like get to the point, because once a Black donor hits,
it's over.
It's
gone.
Out of here. And I don't even know if it's truly the demand or really just other people, use that word, interested in having
Black babies.
A mixed kid or something. So I don't know. I'm not trying to put that out there, but either way, it was like for how quickly they would sell out. You would think it's like 1 million Black women trying to get Black sperm, and I'm like, maybe it is. I don't know. But it was definitely rough. And then IUI we had to do 5 times. We go back and forth. So we were like, you make sure you go to a good, reputable fertility place, because some of these places you don't know if they're giving you some water. Yeah, you don't know what's going on in there because we got all the tests done, no blocked tubes, everything was good. She was young, like age was like 28 at the time or something like that. So it took a while, but on the 5th try, homeboy came through.
Yeah,
I love that.
Oh, and your second one?
Second one, sorry, reciprocal IVF. Okay. Very different, very different. I got to get pumped up all types of drugs and different things like that. I had to get ultrasounds for a gold star. Y'all know that's real. I don't know. Okay, you're extending out too far.
Ain't no things like that thing. Ain't no over the belly. Can't see no with that.
No, we need to count all the follicles. Let's get going.
They come in there. Oh, hi, how you doing?
they get the gloves out. They're like, okay, scoot down a little more. I'm like, this is all I can scoot.
I'm gonna pass out.
That's why we can't push out those babies.
Why you put my business out there like that?
The thought of it.
I just want the people to gold star my ass.
Listen, gold star except for that doctor.
Right.
That doctor popped your cherry.
Okay, you. They were like, sorry.
Yo, they come in there so regular. They come in there so regular.
No,
that's the
seriously.
worst. You be
Seriously,
like,
That's so damn.
I
No,
was
wait.
like,
That is so
That's
funny.
crazy.
and because
it's real. It's a real
they have to
thing.
see the follicles grow. I had to go in every couple days. So
That
every
is
couple, I'm just getting
funny.
violated. They're like, you want some Scooby snacks or something? I'm like, no, get me out of here, please. I'm like, okay, we're almost done. And they're counting them. They're like, okay, 33. I'm like, dang. I'm like, this is great. Tell me.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was different. So yeah, I had to go through my little process.
funny.
Was so thankful when it was done. Then they took the eggs out, fertilized them. We ended up with 7 embryos that were
Nice.
viable.
All right, girl.
After-
Okay.
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 That's not in here. That's not in here.
She real firm.
Right.
So yeah, we they were like, oh, do you want to choose? Because we had 1 girl and 6 boys.
Oh, wow.
And Asia was like, you want to choose? And I was like, I don't want to play God too much because like,
Yeah.
what if something happens? I didn't want to. I'm like, we have so much control already.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it up
Let's
to
just
chance.
do it,
So
yeah.
I was like, just pick the best one, and they picked
Well,
the
you
best
knew
looking one.
probability at that point.
I
It's
mean,
the
6 to
chance.
1.
6
Yeah,
to 1.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
probability.
Do you want a girl?
No,
Yeah,
but no,
basically, do you want that one?
Listen,
You want
but
it.
no,
Yeah.
I get it.
they all had grades, so they were all like AA or I don't know,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the best.
No,
They were all
we
good
went through the
embryos.
same
And
thing.
they
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
looked at the picture and they were like, "This is the best, like
That's how we
symmetrically
did, too.
looking embryo.
Yeah,
Like this
that's
one
how
looks
we
like it's
did,
gonna
too.
have the highest
Yeah.
chance of being a viable pregnancy."
Yeah.
And so then we got the call, and then we were like, "Yeah, it's a boy."
Yeah.
And then Asia was like, "What?"
All of the
It took a second.
ratio had
One
you.
girl in there.
It took a second.
There was one girl.
She loves him so much, but it took her a second to adjust to that
That is comical.
that whole thing.
Why
and I
did
was
she
just
ask?
like, it's okay.
You should have been like,
I was like,
she
it's
should have been like,
okay.
let's
you
get
knew the
girl.
chances.
Yeah.
You knew the chances.
There's a
Listen.
1 out of 7 chance
She
that
was
it
like,
took.
let me throw it out here. But really, you were supposed to say, let's pick that girl up.
Yeah.
You
Listen,
knew your wife's heart. You
wrong
knew what
answer.
she
That's what it
wanted.
was.
I did, but I was
Wrong
like,
answer.
listen, we done controlled the donor, we
You're
done
right.
controlled
No,
the
yeah,
process,
no,
we done
that's
controlled
honestly-
Let's just go all the
the
way.
boy about
Let's
to be
just go all
born
the
in.
way.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's just go all the way.
We playing.
Right.
Right.
Whose side you
Yeah.
on? What's going on here?
Right.
You don't got me on the pod.
Gotta go all the way.
I mean, you're
Listen.
right. Let's not play God.
Right.
Shout out to her for giving you some choice in that. Though.
Listen,
'Cause
I
I
would
would have been
understand.
like,
We went
let's
back and
get that girl and let's be done with this.
Look,
No,
you know,
for,
I would have said it.
for us, it was
Yeah,
okay. For
mine
me
would've-
personally,
like,
I
mine would've
wasn't
said
trying to jump at the option to pick. It was like we already have a boy. We have 2 women in the house. I didn't want him to be the only guy in
yeah,
the house.
true.
I was like, so if it's gonna be a girl, it's gonna be up to complete chance
Yeah.
and luck. Not because we were like, we gonna give you a sister and you're gonna just be surrounded by people. No, like we
Yeah.
were like, let's give him a shot. And sure enough, he got his little brother and he loved that boy.
There you go.
Boom.
That's what
Yeah.
matters. That's what matters.
Family. How'd you arrive at family?
So same, we did IVF. And it's funny because we were talking about fertility doctors and choosing the right fertility doctor because we went to a fertility doctor before. Again, my wife has stage 4 endometriosis, so he was like, "We're gonna try like IUI like 6 times, and if it doesn't work, and like we were like,
That's a lot.
why would we?
Why
do
would we do
Right.
that? We already see the problem.
Right, we know it ahead.
Just go.
And we already knew, like, we you know, insurance wise, we had to pay out of pocket, so we knew insurance wise this wasn't like it doesn't
Why
make
we
sense.
wasting the money, yeah.
So we did all the tests, and it was like IVF is the only option. So we found an amazing doctor, and she was like, "I'm gonna get you pregnant," like told her straight up, and we were like, "Okay." And then we did, you know, the medicine first round. And we got 6 embryos as well. And we got Kennedy first try,
There you go.
which was awesome. And then Kendrick's, that was interesting. We went for another round. We were like, oh, second time. We didn't have our hope. I mean, not that our hopes wasn't up high, but we didn't do the testing. So doctor was like, we don't really need to do the testing. So we didn't do the testing. We had a pregnancy and we think maybe it was a chemical pregnancy. So that one we was excited and then have that, that line's not there anymore kind of thing. And then right before shutdown COVID, I can't wait to tell Kendrick this. if we had missed that cycle, because we were living in Virginia at the time, Paige came back to LA because we loved our doctor that much, and got the second transfer with Kendricks. And we tell Kendricks, we had a 1 month, because when we got the negative for the previous pregnancy, the doctor was like, you can wait another month or you can go back to back. And we were like, we're just going to go back to back. Paige, I was there for every appointment with Kennedy and like everything. And then like, she was like, I'm going to just go.
Yeah.
Because we did the second one. We all came. She just came here, got the transfer. While like literally that week that she went back home, we went on shutdown for COVID.
Wow.
So like if we,
because it would have been a whole like almost year before y'all would have been able to do it
we were going
again.
through terrible twos during the time. We were like, we would have been one and done. Like, so
Wow.
and so it was beautiful, but like that, and then we went on shutdown for COVID. And then during that, we were like, oh, we're locked down, but we pregnant,
Right.
Yeah, we in here pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
SK?
Yeah, we were, yes.
No.
She like, it's complicated.
No,
it's blurry. It's a little blurry. It's blurry. It's a little blurry.
No.
That's a long time.
I want to hear. I want to hear all about it because yours is different.
It is.
Yes.
Mine
Yeah.
is different. We went natural. And by natural, I keep it cute.
Oh.
I meant ICI, is that what you call it? We at home. We turkey based.
At home insemination,
That's
go.
the most natural way I can think of to say it. We turkey basted it, but genuinely with a syringe from the CVS. Like
Shout out
and
CVS.
and a ramekin from
Medical grade, though, right? Medical grade.
yeah.
Okay. I just want the people to know that I don't want them to write this down and
Right.
be like, oh, we
Baby
just gonna go
syringe,
get out the
food
turkey
syringe.
section.
No,
You know what I mean? I'm just-
please, guys.
By the pharmacy
Google
guys.
It. Google it. I want to be responsible for these things. Google it. When people be asking me what kind of, I'm like,
Do your research.
Googled it.
No,
Yeah,
do your exact
there
brand.
is an entire insemination package on Amazon. Like you don't even have to be weird, guys. You can just
It'll
they'll
be at
give
your
you
house
all
tonight.
the bits. Yeah, it'll get you all the things that you need to make it happen. But we legitimately, it took me a long time to find the right donor, but once we found him and I was pregnant, he was down. So he was like, whenever you guys need anything else, if you want any other children, like we got you. And so when Mylon was ready, we did the same thing. We tracked, the ovulation. We got those sticks, to make sure that it was actually ovulation when it said it was ovulation. And then he was amazing. So we would literally call him. We lived in Orange County at the time, but he lived in West Hollywood. So that like hour, 45 minutes, we would be like, all right, we on the way. 15 minutes up, we'd be like, okay, we're turning in. He'd be like, okay, getting started. Okay.
I got you coming up.
Hot and ready, like a little Caesars. That's the only way. That's the only way. And then we would knock on the door, and he'd be like, all right. He would like leave his house and like let us take this apartment. And then we would just do like, the Googleables, keep your legs in the air.
Yeah.
They like to say, I'm not gonna take. I don't know. This is the family. They like to say do other things too, and it'll help. It'll encourage you. They say it'll encourage
so that
you.
the things can meet.
They say it'll encourage it. I don't know if that's true, but it was fun trying. And I don't know what's what, but I know
Now we're here.
Yeah,
We
we're
got
here now.
babies now.
Okay.
So
We're here now.
We're here.
And actually, so she took 2 cycles. So the first one didn't work, and the second one I think I had like an install or something. Like I had to be at work. And so she drove by herself and she did it on her own and we tested and she was positive. So I wasn't even there, After a while, it just becomes...
You're like, go ahead, girl.
We
All
done
right,
did it
call me.
times,
Call me when you finish.
Because when I was doing it, I tried for an entire year. I started miscarried and then tried again for a while, switched donors, and then was successful, right? We had some fertility stuff that had to happen and we went and saw I agree, find the right fertility. Because
Yes,
really
true.
just seeing one person changed our entire perspective. We just had no clue. And so that really helped. And then, so now that we had all that understanding, I think that's what people lack is they go into it trying to make a baby based off television. It's like, you can just Google it. The steps are there. Like you don't have to guess.
Yeah, not at
Especially
all.
when you're doing it for yourself. Like unless you're going to use a doctor, IVF, IUI, if you know that your first attempt is going to be at home, do the research. Because I think that's what puts a lot of fear into people is like, I need to do these, things. And it's like, you really don't. I talked to the fertility specialist. She was like, the internet is telling y'all to do that? I'm like,
Yeah.
the internet got girls wearing cum for days.
Yeah.
Thinking that it helps.
crazy.
honey.
The internet has people meeting. No, I'm like, I could tell you the terrifying things
It's
that
wild.
I also didn't do. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
But that we were like, this is wild. Like I had to take it to her like, should I do these things? She was like, no.
None of this is gonna
She was
help.
like,
None of it.
if all of that mattered, she was like, even coming, she was like, you think women need to come to have babies? Like, think of your mama. Like,
Yeah.
think of women for
right.
years. Like, people have been having babies forever, and they have never
Just
needed that, right?
laying
Like, the
there and
internet
just
just, yeah. I'm saying, you asleep, sis.
You weren't even up.
You asleep. You turned it
Little
over.
silent.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you just turned it over, and you got pregnant. So
Here we
my
go.
doctor was literally
10 kids
like,
later.
yeah, 20. Our grannies was having babies.
Yeah.
It was just the
'Cause
right
all of
time.
them- All of them was not no
My wife
passionate
is like, yeah.
night with rose petals and
My doctor was
lingerie.
like,
Not at all.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
None of this is necessary.
This is
Not a
true.
single thing.
Yeah, and I was like,
Just
you're
timing.
right. Yeah, it's just the timing.
Just
It's
timing.
just the timing.
That's
So
it.
that
The
really
reason our
shifted-
grandmas was always ready though.
Listen,
All
it
them
was
kids.
them nightgown things. Them muumuus they used to have. Them they said my grandma used to have 10 kids just for them things. Okay, the muumuus be attractive.
Y'all think them lace fronts? No, y'all don't need none of that.
Y'all need them lace nightgowns.
Yeah,
Not them
listen,
lace
lace
fronts.
on that dick. You need a
That.
lace pocket.
Okay.
With some Carmex in it. And
never
nothing
miss.
underneath.
After you,
And nothing underneath.
Nothing
And
underneath.
never miss.
no
let it
$50
swing.
bra from Victoria's
Let it
Secret. None of
swing.
that.
None of that.
Nothing. Just
You
natural.
need none of that.
Just
They
clean.
still don't.
Bet y'all
Just
know it's
clean.
kind of show today, huh?
Yeah. And on that note, we'll be back for part 2. We're gonna talk about life after these kids. So y'all stay tuned.